There we go. I am live. Yay. I am live on YouTube and I am live on Instagram. So this is going to be very interesting. It feels really, really, really good to be live, to be present. Most times, for real, all we have to do is show up. Let me see if I could share the stream onto Facebook to let folks know, hey, I am live. So join me on Facebook or Instagram live now. Join in. I'm gonna need an assistant pretty soon. I'm gonna need about 2 or 3 assistants to help me with this process. Hey, sis Jaquan Hoke, how you doing, lovely? So I'm just going ahead and I'm going to share the stream. I've shared the stream on Facebook. And so everyone on Facebook world should know that I am live on Instagram as well as on YouTube. Progress. Yay. I'm so excited. Get your books, y'all. Instagram, YouTube, make sure that you get your books. Okay. Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. This book should be required reading for all African Americans truly committed to the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment. Okay. I wanted to go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the forward. I'm not going to start with the contents and I'm not going to get into the acknowledgments. This is a hefty read. And I really want us to make sure that we're ready. Like, make sure you have your pen. Like, I literally have a bottle of wine over here for real because, like, this is a new beginning for many of us, right? And so, on the title, I said, join in if you are ready to be committed and aligned to your pursuit of happiness and fulfillment. All right. So, I'm ready. If you're here and you're ready, let's go. Okay. I'm on I'm on the forward, okay? You are about to embark on a transformational experience. This information, this the information and ideas contained in this very special book will actually change your belief system. Yes, Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice was written with the hope of giving you another way of looking at your world. It is a high It is a book filled with real life positive examples of high achievers. It is written in basic English and packed with emotion. Okay, so y'all get ready because this is going to be absolutely awesome. Okay, listen, if you don't already have the book, download it because we're going to be diving into some real deep, deep, deep stuff. Okay, and so let's go. So it is written in basic English and packed with emotion. You will see your reflection in many of the stories told. The success stories in this book are actually every person's success story. They are founded in universal law and principle, which shows no regard for color, race, or cultural differences. They work for everyone. However, there is one catch: they work only if you work them. You must believe and use the principles daily, not just every now and then. Just as food, and I love this part, just as food will nourish and strengthen your body only when eaten, the ideas and concepts shared in this book will work only when applied and practiced. So make a commitment that this will not be like so many other projects you have begun and failed to complete. Who am I speaking to besides me? This time will be different. You are going to create a new and improved you. Let's give this project a name so it will have real meaning. Let's call it Operation New Life. So if you're here, put in the comments, talk back to me. I don't really want to just be talking about myself. Put in the comments, hashtag Operation New Life if you know that you are committed to fulfilling the pursuit of your dreams and your happiness. Comment hashtag Operation New Life. Can you think of a more worthwhile project? I know I can't. You deserve to be the best you possible. Before you get started, a word of caution. This is not a read it once and put it on a shelf type of book. Read it before going to bed at night. Read it as soon as you wake up in the morning. Take it, take it to your place of business, on trips to the bathroom, because Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, was meant to be studied and put into practice, practice, practice. So turn the page and get started on the greatest journey of your life. Operation New Life. I look forward to meeting the brand new you. Have a great life. That was uh, Aloha. Wally Amos wrote the forward. All right. I see Shaquan Hope. Yes, sis. So that means you're ready. All right, y'all, let's go. We're going to go ahead and get into the introduction. Usually, I always like to read the introduction before actually getting into the meat of the book because I like to know the thought and mind of the author, right? I want to know, okay, why did you write this book? And how am I going to benefit from reading this book? Okay, so invite somebody on the stream. Like, don't be selfish. Let people know. Sabrina is live and she wants you all to join in so that we all, so that we all can think and grow rich. All right, introduction. The noblest charity is to prevent a man from accepting charity. And the best alms is to show and enable a man to dispense with alms. That's Talmudic philosopher. That's pretty heavy. I'm not going to dive into that. I'm just going to get into the read. All right, let's go. Page 1, introduction. Let's go. All right, YouTube and Instagram. Let's go. Black Americans who seek a way to abandon a mediocre life, a start on a grand highway to success. Here is your roadmap. Make sure, press pause. Make sure that you have your pen. I love green. I love blue. These are my favorite colors. Make sure that you have your book. Let me grab my notebook. And you're going to take copious notes, okay? I always have a notebook whenever I'm starting a new read and a book so that I can take notes and just put down whatever speaks out to me, okay? I'm a writer. I love to write so that I don't forget what I got going on, all right? And if you're anything like me, then you're going to want to make sure that you take some copious notes as well because I'm telling you, this is going to transform our whole lives. At least that's what I believe right now, okay? So this map is not new. It was developed just after the Civil War in the form of a lecture entitled Acres of Diamonds. Anybody read that book? Acres of Diamonds? Listen, I've read it. I've read it to my son. And I mean, every time I read it, I'm just like, man, you couldn't hold out a little bit longer. But listen, I don't want to tell y'all the book. Y'all got to pick it up and read it for yourself. Okay? So Acres and Diamonds is what the book was titled by a lawyer and newspaper editor named Russell H. Conwell. In 1881, Dr. Conwell also became a minister, and it was in this role that he developed his talk, which he delivered some 8,000 times to audiences across the country. These appearances earned him nearly $8 million in lecture fees, which he used to found Temple University. Many of you are familiar in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to serve poor but deserving young men. Acres of Diamonds was a true story of a poor farmer who settled in Africa and spent years struggling to raise crops. His land was rocky and difficult to till. Disenfranchised with his circumstances, the farmer became increasingly fascinated by tales of easy wealth, as many of us are now, right? Easy wealth gained by men who had searched for and discovered diamonds in the countryside. He too, just like us, want to be rich, or he wanted to be rich because some of y'all are already rich. We're all rich, right? But we talking about wealth, finances, right? He grew tired of the endless labor and impulsively sold his farm to search for diamonds. For the rest of his life, he wandered the vast African continent, searching for gleaming gems. The great discovery always eluded him. Finally, in a fit of despondency, broken financially, spiritually, and emotionally, he threw himself into a river and drowned. How devastating is that? Meanwhile, the man who had bought his farm and found a rather large and unusual stone in a stream that cut through his property. It turned out to be a diamond of enormous value. Every time I read that part, y'all. Stunned by his newfound wealth, the farmer discovered that his land was virtually covered with such stones. It was to become one of the world's richest diamond mines. Amazing. So now, the first farmer had unknowingly owned acres of diamonds. He sold the property for practically nothing in order to look for riches elsewhere. How many of us do that? Like in real life? If only he had taken the time to study and realize what diamonds looked like in their rough state and had first thoroughly explored the land he had owned, he would have found the riches he sought on the very land that he had lived upon. What so profoundly affected Dr. Conwell and subsequently thousands of others who heard this lecture was the fact that each of us at any given moment is standing in the middle of his or her own acres of diamonds. If only we acquire the wisdom and patience to intelligently and effectively examine our circumstances and to explore the work in which we are now engaged, we usually will find that it contains the riches we seek, whether they be material, spiritual, or both. Before we go running off to see what we think are greener pastures, let's make sure that our own is not just as green, or perhaps even greener. Oftentimes, while we're looking at other pastures, other people are busy looking at ours. It is so true. There's nothing more pitiful than the person who wastes his or her life wandering from one thing to another, like the improvident seeker of diamonds, forever looking for the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and never staying with one thing long enough to find it. Page 3. For no matter what your goal may be, or whatever form your riches may take, you can be sure that your start on the road to its attainment can be found somewhere within your present surroundings. Yes, sis, patience, research, and action. Yes. Men and women who have become outstanding at their work are those who view their endeavors as an opportunity for growth and development. They have prepared themselves for the opportunities that surround them every day. James Brander Matthews, a 19th century writer, observed, unless a man has trained himself for his chance, the chance will only make him look ridiculous. A great occasion is worth to a man exactly what his preparation enables him to make of it. I'm gonna do my best, y'all, not to repeat the words in this book. So y'all could just, well, I don't know if I'm gonna save this on here because you're really supposed to have the book to join the book read. So I think I'm gonna just come live, and if I'm able to save the streams on YouTube, you'll just see the replay on YouTube. Okay. The YouTube is Bree SJL, and Bree is BRYH SJL on YouTube. That's my channel. So preparation is key. It means becoming so good, so competent at what you're doing that you actually force the opportunity you seek to come your way. And come your way it will. I have a quick testimony. Well, I don't know if I should share it or not. In my former work, I'm no longer working in the capacity in which I was working at the hospital. But someone reached out to me to do a project with them based on the work that I have done in the past as a contractor and a consultant. And I was so thankful because I was just like, listen, opportunities seek you when you least expect it, but I thoroughly was looking for the opportunities rather, to serve. And it came to me. I didn't have to go seek it. All I have to do is just be in position and be prepared to do what it is that I do. Same thing with you. Just show up, but be prepared. Today, Black America stands in a spotlight. Strong winds, strong tides, strong minds, and strong destinies are gathering to sweep the race into new directions, new actions, and new possibilities. Opportunities abound. The world awaits to judge our valuation of ourselves, to see what we do with those opportunities that have escaped our grasp for so many years. Thank you, sis. The door has now opened, and the freedom to walk through it is ours. But the freedom to do what? Freedom to define whatever you demand from life and what you expect to give life in return. Freedom is yours. I have to remember that Instagram is here and YouTube is here. So I'm looking at Instagram because I can literally see who's here. I don't see anybody necessarily here yet on YouTube, but I'm going to practice looking at both screens because soon it's going to be hundreds and thousands of y'all tuned in, right? And so the world awaits to judge our valuation of ourselves, to see what we do with those opportunities that have escaped our grasp for so many years. The door has now opened, and the freedom to walk through it is ours. But the freedom to do what? Freedom to define whatever you demand from life and what you expect to give life in return. Freedom is yours. You have the spiritual, legal, and social right to be or not to be. Only one out of every 17 human beings on earth is blessed with this freedom that so many seem to take for granted. To progress and find your way to success, is the debt you owe life. Freedom is yours. Though you may march in unison with your brother, each of you must step to your own cadence. You may reason together, but the product of that reasoning is a consortium of individual thoughts. And we know that to be true, right? We're better together, but individually we have to be able to make our own impact. We're on page 4 now. You may love your fellow man, but you can neither breathe for him nor match the beat of his heart to your own. Ain't that true? Operation New Life, y'all. Hashtag Operation New Life if you haven't already. This book is about Black America and success, but the concepts it articulates are applicable to all who dwell on this earth. Because remember, SJL, Sabrina J. Lewis, is for righteousness, peace, and love, no matter who it's for or against. I'm not prejudiced. I'm not for injustice. I love everybody. Just don't do no wrong, because if you do wrong, we're coming for you. All right? I'm just saying, we're still advocates in real life. Okay? This book is about Black America and its success, but the concepts it articulates are applicable to all who dwell on this earth. Conscious power exists within the mind of everyone. Too often it goes unrecognized, but it is there. It is there to be developed and brought forth, like the great oak born out of the acorn, or like the achiever who has risen above obstacles or purposelessness and low self esteem. Within you lies a power which properly, which when properly grasped and directed, can lift an entire race out of the rut of mediocrity, poverty, and failure, and onto shores of fortune. The key words in this context are grasped and directed. Let me offer an illustration. William Marston, a prominent psychologist, authored, a 2-year study where he asked 3,000 individuals the following: what have you to live for? What have you to live for? What did Dr. Marston What Dr. Marston found was absolutely shocking. He discovered that 94% of those interviewed had no definite purpose. There were men and women who simply endured the present while they waited for their future. We've all been there. Some of us are here now. They waited for something to happen, waited for tomorrow, waited for next year, waited for their children to grow up and leave home, waited for someone to die. 94%, the overwhelming majority were men and women who were simply enduring the present while they waited for more favorable circumstances. This doesn't make sense when you're talking to free human beings who are living in the most exciting age in the history of mankind. We should realize that the only time that exists is here and now. Yesterday is gone forever, and tomorrow never really comes. Those who wait for things to happen or for something to turn up never learn the rules of the most exciting and rewarding game on earth, the game of life. Thomas Huxley, a 19th century scientist and philosopher, noted the following: suppose that we're perfectly certain that the life and fortune of each of us would someday depend upon our winning or losing the game of chess. Y'all know I love chess, right? Do y'all know that I started a whole chess club for children, Chess at the Center at Rafa Art Life Center back in, I believe it was 2017. It was really for homeschool families. And some of my babies had to go on to school. Some of the parents had to go to work for various reasons. They didn't have they had to restructure their lives. And so Chess at the Center will resume another time, but not right now. But it will come back. But listen, suppose that we're perfectly certain that the life and fortune of each of us would someday depend upon our winning or losing the game of chess. Do you not think that we should all consider it to be our primary duty to learn at least the names of the pieces and how to position them on a chessboard? Yes, it is a plain and elementary truth that the life, the fortune, and the happiness of each of us depends upon our knowing something of the rules of the game of more difficult, far more interesting, and more exciting than chess. Here is a game that has been played for untold ages. Each of us is one of the two players in a game of his or her own. The chessboard is our world. The pieces are the phenomena of the universe. The rules of the game are what we call the laws of nature. Now, the player on the other side is our opponent. Now, the player on the other side, our opponent, is hidden from us. We realize that his play is always fair, just, and patient. But also, we learn to our cost that he never overlooks a mistake or makes the smallest allowance for ignorance. He cannot favor anyone, but everyone has the same opportunity to win. To, to the man who plays well, the highest stakes are paid with that sort of overwhelming generosity with which the strong show delight and strength. And one who plays poorly is checkmatched with haste, but without remorse. I'm laughing because if anybody has played the game of chess, you already know what that feels like. It doesn't feel so good, right? And so Huxley went on to say that those who take honors in nature's university, who learn the laws that govern men and things and obey them, are really great and successful people in this world. The masses of mankind are the average who pick up just enough to get through without much discredit. Yes, it is a plain and elementary truth that the life, the fortune, and the happiness of each of us depends on our knowing something of the rules of this game. It is a game that our Creator allows us all to play just once. It is a game that our Creator allows us to play just once. And there is no second chance should we play poorly. It becomes important to know. It becomes important that we know the rules that will ultimately determine our success. Page 6. Not just to know their meaning and what they do, but to make these principles a part of us. A habit that will lead us to do the right thing automatically, regardless of circumstances. Then we will know that we need not wait for some distant opportunity to arrive. He who does can make no greater mistake. For no man or a woman can become successful without enriching the lives of others. Anyone who adds to prosperity must prosper in return. So keep going, y'all. Keep growing, because I see y'all out there doing some big, big, big things. Keep going. Keep growing. We're still on page 6, y'all. The world is yours when you master the secret. Think and Grow Rich. We're in the introduction. A black choice, okay? A black choice. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill devoted his life to sharing the philosophy of individual achievement with millions of men and women. Born in poverty, Hill carved out a distinguished writing career, became a confidant of many of the most successful leaders of the 20th century, and served as an advisor to Presidents Woodrow Wilson and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Excuse me. As a novice reporter, Hill interviewed Andrew Carnegie, the multi-millionaire steel magnate. During their 3-hour meeting, Carnegie shared with Hill his grand idea to develop and organize the world's first philosophy of individual achievement based on the success principles that Carnegie had used to accumulate his vast fortune. Fast approaching the end of an illustrious career, Carnegie lamented, "It's a shame that each new generation must find the way to success by trial and error when the principles are really clear cut." After elaborating on his beliefs, the tycoon put the question squarely to his young guest. If you were given the opportunity to spend 20 years interviewing the most accomplished and wealthiest men and women of your day, probing their psyches thoroughly for secrets to their success, would you undertake the venture? Without hesitation, the young journalist emphatically said yes. Napoleon Hill had seized the moment. Unknown to Hill, Carnegie had allowed the reporter 60 seconds in which to make up his mind. When I read this, I said, I'm going to use this in business every day. In 29 seconds, Hill said that he would begin the job and complete it. Later, Hill learned that the great industrialist had had a stopwatch in his hand, timing his answer. Had his deliberation exceeded the allotted minute, Hill would have lost his chance. Carnegie had learned from his observation of men that those who are slow to make up their minds are equally as slow to carry out their decisions. Y'all heard that? Carnegie provided Hill with no subsidy for his effort, except to provide letters of introduction and pay his expenses while he interviewed men such as Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, John D. Rockefeller, John Wanamaker, F.L. Woolworth, and Alexander Graham Bell. Carnegie explained that he wished to make sure that Hill learned to apply the philosophy he was to organize, thus proving its soundness by its own accomplishments. In 1928, exactly 20 years after the fateful meeting, Hill published the highly influential book, Laws of Success, in which he revealed all he had learned. And you know, Laws of Success are actually available. You can Google Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill, and you'll get to see exactly what I'm talking about right now. 9 years later, he published Think and Grow Rich, a classic that sold more than 10 million copies. Far from being a get-rich-quick manual, Think and Grow Rich distills the essence of the system, the success system of those whom he had studied. At the book's core rests the conviction Hill absorbed from his mentor. The individual must control his deepest perception of himself, lest he be overwhelmed by the forces of negativism. Negativism. When an opportunity knocks, you must answer quickly, yes, indeed, and defeat in those around him. In Think and Grow Rich, Hill demonstrated his genius for motivating others, which would become a hallmark of his subsequent books. Page 7. Black America must discover the secret. Prior to his death in 1970, Hill wrote a manuscript specifically aimed at Black America. Unfortunately, page 8, the manuscript was never published. Could you imagine? However, it was preserved by the foundation that bears Hill's name and made available to me, a young, unknown Black writer. And that Black writer's name is, again, Dennis Kimbro. We are reading Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. We're on page 8. The crux or the crux of Hill's ideas are in the underpinnings of this book. It is my goal to capture Hill's motivating and inspirational style as I urge potential Black achievers who possess the drive and initiative to uncover the secrets of success and follow Hill's dictum to the letter. Today, at this very moment, in every part of the country, there are Black men and women, as well as members of their minority groups who wonder what they can do to realize their goals and advance some shiny ideal. You and I are no exception. We have the same opportunities that all possess, regardless of race, creed, or social class, to succeed or fail in the land of unlimited riches. Others before us have brought their desires and visions to the doorsteps of reality. Whether we do so too and cross the threshold of achievement depends totally on one person, the one whom each of us sees in the mirror. Why do some men and women fail while others succeed? This is a question I've always asked, right? Especially when I be working hard, right? But we got to work smart too, right? Why do some wallow in the mirror of poverty and backwardness while others enjoy success and prosperity? Why does one man live in a loving, caring home and another drag out a meager existence in a slum? And why is one man popular and respected and another disliked and ignored? This book will help clarify your thinking as you search for your answers, as you search for answers. Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice began several years before I came upon Hill's unpublished work on success. The underlying theme was etched into my subconscious during my many years of research while interviewing dozens of the most powerful Black men and women in America. These high achievers offered me an opportunity to observe them at a close range. I saw them reveal their traits, both good and bad, and that you will see if you're following someone and documenting their journey. I discovered and analyzed their accomplishments and setbacks, their successes and failures. During my doctoral studies at Northwestern University, I learned that much of what is believed about race and ethnicity is based on repetition rather than fact. It would be a life's work to disentangle the myths, misconceptions, and half truths that cloud the process of goal seeking as it pertains to the ethnic or Black experience in America. What is often viewed as a unique and peculiar experience turns out to be not so unique as once imagined. The great mindless idea of our time is that success is not only attainable by those of right color, right background, or class, but why does one man fail while another succeeds? This question is of tremendous concern to all mankind, especially, especially those carving a tunnel of hope where hope exists, where no hope exists. Page 9, Understanding Black America. All right. Black America requires special understanding. It embraces more than 30 million men and women and children and is becoming increasingly younger and more concentrated in urban areas. While it shares many of the concerns so common to American society as a whole, a decent education, a worthwhile career, an opportunity to build or share in an enterprise for one's own future, the rearing of a strong and healthy family, and retirement in comfort and dignity. Black America has its own special set of concerns which exert a powerful influence in determining the quality of its life. We know that's true. For instance, there are concerns about schools that do not teach but graduate functional illiterates, about employment, homelessness, and tens of thousands of Blacks who have never held a job, about the staggering increase of families headed by single women, about violent crimes where Blacks are both the principal victims as well as the perpetrators. Come on now, we are reading A Black Choice, Think and Grow Rich by Dennis Kimbrough, Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, and Napoleon Hill. I want y'all to get these books. We're in the introduction. We're on page 9. But the idea of the monolithic Black America, if ever real, has become artificial since the civil rights movement. While it implies a unified community that defies today's adversities, the images the images presented by it are both jarring, and inconsistent. On one hand, as of this writing, which was, I don't know, when was this written? This was written, when was this written? Let me see. I had to go back to the beginning so I could see when this was written. Published when? When was this published? Come on now. I need to know when this was published just for me. Okay, 1991. First hardcover edition, published September 1991. Okay? So, on one hand, as of this writing, 1991, The Cosby Show is top rated. Brian Gumbel and Oprah Winfrey are among the most respected hosts of morning networks news and talk programs. And an ever-growing number of Blacks have grasped the keys to power in spectacular fashion. Dr. Clifton Wharton, for instance, saw race as no burden as he assumed his rightful place to head the nation's largest private pension fund. General Colin Powell, who, like Hannibal and Henry Flipper, Paragons, who had gone before him, beat back beat back the odds to become America's first soldier. All her life, Spelman College's Johnnetta Cole had to elbow her whole way to the table. Now she is a black woman marked for greatness. Show me someone content with mediocrity, she says, and I'll show you someone destined for failure. And Ron Brown, chairman of the National Democratic Party, is an agent of historical change. Historic change. Throughout his life, he had to sidestep barriers constructed to defeat him. My goal, he says unapologetically, is to make it more difficult for people to say to you, but, my brother used to always say that when you say the word but, it changes or modifies the previous statement. So he could say something like, well, so and so is an inventor, but discrediting what he previously done. And that is the history of Black America. But I'm not going to give my commentary. Let me move forward. These men and women believe that life was meant to be more than a continuous struggle, a challenge to be met by working a little harder than was necessary, by carrying themselves one step further than what was required, and by proving, if proof was still necessary, that actualized power of their potential was greater than any measure of racism which sought to restrain them. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the proportion of Black professionals and managers has doubled since 1960. And those statistics, again, was in 1991, because that's when this was written. Also, Black poverty, as officially measured by the Joint Center of Political Studies, was declined by nearly one half. Blacks as a whole have moved from a position of utter destitution in terms of wealth, education, and human rights to a place alongside their ethnic counterparts. None have had to come from so far back to join the ranks. Page 11. On the other hand, however, some appalling trends still cloud these gains. Consider the following facts. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the proportion of Black children born out of wedlock in 1989 was nearly 60%. More than half of all Black children are reared in fatherless homes. 31% of Black Americans live in poverty. 45% of all Black children live in families with incomes below the poverty line. This is 2022. Just think about these numbers and realize that this was 1991. 45% of all Black children live in families with incomes below the poverty line. The Black unemployment rate is twice of that which whites and Asians of whites and Asians. For every Black earning $36,000, there are 12 Blacks living below the poverty line. The 8,000 or so Black Americans who lost their lives due to Black-on-Black violence in 1989 is equal to the number of Black servicemen killed in action during the entire Vietnam conflict. That's crazy. According to the Atlanta Journal and Constitution. Black males particularly have edged precariously close to becoming an endangered species. Whew. Okay, that almost took me out. Let me back to Earth, okay? More than 40% of inmates in federal and state prisons are Black. There are more Black males in prison and correctional facilities than on college campuses. I don't know if that's still accurate now. Well, yeah, it's still accurate now. A Carnegie Foundation report states that Black high school dropouts rate in many urban areas exceed 40%. In some inner cities, the rate is more than 50%. The President's National Commission for Excellence in Education reported that 44% of Black 17-year-olds are functionally illiterate. And consider the findings from a University of Chicago study, as it was submitted to a government agency for public policy debate. Now, we know this is a bit dated, so there has been many changes since then. By the year 2000, 70% of all Black men will be unemployed. 70% of all Black children will be born into a household without a male. And roughly 1/3 of all Blacks will be members of a permanent underclass. Jeez. Page 12. And To this, an explosion of drug abuse and swollen welfare rolls. And pretty soon the statistics become almost unmentionable. The conditions are both a waste of human potential and a drain on our national economy. Isn't that crazy? I mean, oh my gosh, again, y'all, we are reading Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice. There's a difference. For many years we've read, I want to go get my book. I have many copies of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but I've only read this book once or twice. And that was when I was younger. So now, as an adult in my 40s, this is hitting a little different, a whole lot different. Like, wow. Hashtag Operation New Life. That's all I could say. Okay. Add to this an explosion of drug abuse and swollen welfare rolls, and pretty soon the statistics become almost unmentionable. These conditions are both a waste of human potential and a drain on our national economy. Those who set social policy indulge themselves in what? Demagogic game and finger pointing. Liberals say conservatives won't spend enough on social programs. Conservatives reply, we've already spent too much and the programs don't work. Many argue that government is principally responsible, though these responses possess some element of truth. They fall far short of providing real solutions. In a very real sense, the civil rights struggle envisaged by its founders and millions of supporters, has won some enormous battles. Blacks are no longer denied access to the judicial process of impartial hearings, speedy trials, and jury by peers. They are no longer denied access to public schools and colleges due to race, nor are they denied access to the political arena. As of this writing, Blacks now serve as chief executive officers in the largest of U.S. cities: New York, woo woo, Los Angeles, Newark, Cleveland, Kansas City, New Orleans, Seattle, Baltimore, Detroit, Philadelphia, Atlanta, as well as in the state of Virginia. On the national level, growing numbers of Black candidates add to their already impressive legions within America's political and economic structures. But life is not sociology. This was not the focus of Dr. Hill's manuscript, and while it will not be given consideration here, he says, and it will not be given consideration here. Hill was deeply concerned with the aim of the common man. He committed the words of the great American naturalist Henry David Thoreau, Thoreau, to memory. In the long run, men only hit at what they aim. Therefore, though, they should fail immediately. No, let me read that again because I want us to understand this. In the long run, men only hit at what they aim. Therefore, though they should fail immediately, it is best they aim at something high. Like if your goal is 50,000 a month, don't aim for 20,000. Right? Aim for 60 or 70,000 and you just might hit your 50,000 mark. The 500 or so achievers highlighted in Hill's laws of success represented but a small fraction of those whose personal success demonstrated the veracity of Hill's principles. As Hill asserted on numerous occasions, page 13, we're still in the introduction. I have never known anyone who was inspired to use the secret who did not achieve noteworthy success in his calling. I have never known any person to distinguish himself or to accumulate riches of any consequence without possession of this secret. From these two facts, I draw the conclusion that the secret is more important as a part of the knowledge essential for self-determination than any which is received through what is popularly known as education. Think and Grow Rich, y'all. A Black choice. Let's go. 13. It was Hill's dream that Black America would discover the infinite possibilities that are available to all who inhabit this world. It was his hope and desire that the time-tested principles that he worked so hard to uncover would be available and practiced by anyone who wished to stamp their mark on society. Hill also stressed that anyone can reach a high level of personal achievement and through individual initiative can motivate himself or herself to greatness. It boils down to the choices one is willing to make. Is racial oppression and discrimination an insurmountable obstacle? As I pen my thoughts, I can hear a chorus of buts. But you don't understand the power of racism. But you underestimate the 300 years of psychic despair, disregard, disrepair that has been heaped upon our people. You're wrong. I do understand. Am I saying that racial oppression no longer exists? That discrimination has vanished from the American landscape? No. No. Yes, racism and discrimination do exist, and they will probably remain as constants. But, and this is a big but, they should never be an excuse for your lack of developing. They should never be offered as a reason for your failure to dream, to strive, and to press forward. When you encounter injustices and social wrongs, you must fight them tooth and nail, but you must never, never lose sight of the greater battle to develop as an individual. I was about to say, how much longer is this introduction, Nat? We're on page 14, y'all. We almost done. We got 1 or 2 pages left of this, and then we're going to be in chapter 1 starting our next read. The challenge for each Black American, and it is a difficult one, is the same as it has always been. Not to go through life as a victim. This is a really good time to be reading this book because so much is happening in the world, and we all could be a victim right now, all of us. But as Dr. Dennis Kimbro is saying, it's true. The challenge for each of Black Americans, and it is a difficult one, is the same as it has always been. Not to go through life as a victim, but to live life victoriously. You need to meditate upon the words shared by Reverend Dr. Johnny Coleman, pastor of the Christ Universal Complex in Chicago, one of the nation's largest churches, who teaches you don't have to be sick or broke. You can go within and bring forth the power to change things. I think we need to underline that. This ain't my library book, but it's a library book, but I'm going to underline that. You don't have to be sick or broke. You can go within and bring forth the power to change things. Or better yet, be still as you consider the thoughts expressed by Dr. Dorothy Height, president of the National Council of the Negro Woman, who more than 40 years ago dared to ask the question, what makes the great great? What makes the great great? Has she found the answer? I let you, the reader, decide. Greatness is not measured by what a man or woman accomplishes, she says, but by the opposition he or she has overcome to reach his goals. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. I love book reads, for real. Yes, even in 1991 America, it can still hurt to walk a mile in the shoes of a Black American. But can racism or discrimination stop the man or woman on the move? As the illustrations in this book will attest, never. Never that. Page 14, a promise to the reader, and we're closing out. For many years, I searched for the clue. I searched for a clue that would foretell the future for any human being. Is there a clue? I wanted to know that could predict a future of bright promises. Is there a key that would guarantee a person's becoming successful? If he only knew about it and knew how to use it. Well, there is such a key, and I found it. Why do some people succeed in life while others fail? I will share that answer with you. This answer, if you really understand it, will alter your life immediately. That's why I say get your journals, take your notes, make sure they're copious. If you understand completely what I am about to tell you, from this moment on your life, from this moment on, your life will never be the same. You will suddenly find that good luck just seems to be attracted to you. You'll find that the things you desire just seem to fall in line. And from now on, you won't have the problems, the worries, or the anxiety that you may have carried like so much extra baggage. Doubt and fear will be things of the past. For in this book lies the key to success as well as the key to failure. A final word of warning before you digest the first chapter. Ignorance is no longer an adequate excuse for failure. Ooh, why? Because virtually all limitation is self imposed. You will soon realize that you, the individual, are minute expression of the creator of all things. And as such, you have no limitations except those accepted in your own mind. Every man and woman has within him or herself a sleeping giant. No one needs to be less than he or she is. There rests within each of us the power to become great, each in our own way. Finding one's true self is the beginning of success. Simple as it sounds, many go through life without the vaguest notion of their true selves and the meaning of life. There are ingredients like pieces of a puzzle waiting to be placed by you into one breathtaking work of art. This process can and must be learned. It is your responsibility in the final analysis to overcome ignorance. This can only be accomplished if you remain receptive and teachable. Special instructions, page 15. As you read this book, read it as if I were a personal friend writing to you. And you're hearing my voice. So because y'all on my live stream and on YouTube, you're hearing my voice. He says, read this book as if I were a personal friend to you, writing you, and you alone. So I can't see everybody who's on now. I can see Shaquan Ho. I can see Sophia. Blessings and love to you. Coconut Grove. Trini Trin. I don't want to call everybody else's name. I don't think. Oh, G Mac, Budget Travel Group, Death for Beauty. I don't see anybody else on right now. For this book is dedicated to you who seek the true riches of life. Read it again and again as you refresh your understanding of it. Underscore sentences, quotations, and words that are meaningful to you, as I said in the beginning. Memorize self-motivators. Call on it often, as you will eventually read much between the lines. With each new reading, you will see what lies behind each statement. Each of the following chapters contains a secret that is essential to your progress towards your goals and desires. And after you have digested all, understood all, comprehended all, and put it all into action, make your choice. You will know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a reason for you to be held back, that there is no reason for you to be held back any longer. Through this book, you will discover that success in life can be predicted with absolute certainty. You can have the desires of your heart, all of them, all of them. And you will have them if you make this manual a part of your way of thinking, a part of your way of life. Let me paint a clearer picture. If I gave a blueprint to a skillful builder, do you think it will be a matter of chance or luck that he will complete the structure according to plan? That's good. Of course not. The builder merely starts at the beginning and follows the plan step by step to its completion. Think and Grow Rich, a Black choice, shares the same concept. It is a blueprint for success. If you follow the instructions outlined in this book, the results will be automatic. You'll suddenly realize that you are capable of achieving far more, doing far more, and having far more than you ever thought possible. And you will realize your potential simply by applying the secrets that lie within these pages. Now the choice is yours. You can choose mediocrity or complacency with its companion, failure, or you can choose success. Which will you choose? Take the first step and turn a page, y'all. That was the introduction. We did that. Okay. The introduction was a little long now. The introduction was 16 pages. So on Wednesday, my goal is to come here. I wish I could be here every single day. I don't know what my schedule will allow. I try to get out of working by 6 p.m. so that I can be present with you all, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My goal is to serve at least 3 days a week to give this knowledge to us all because this is for me as well as for you. I'm just bringing y'all in on a journey. So thank you so much for being here. Our next chapter will be starting on page 17, Inner Space, the Final Frontier. Wealth is the progressive master of matter by mind. Oh, excuse me. By mind. Where's my water? I need some oxygen. Poverty is a disease of the mind. We're going to be dealing with that when we come back. Okay. So I don't want to give a specific time or date. If you see me put an announcement out, join the live. That's how we're going to do this for real because I don't want to make commitments that I may or may not be available to fulfill. This is the book read for August. And so when we finish, we will move on to another book read that I have in store for y'all that y'all will love and adore. We're going back into fall season. You know I love my book reads now. Summertime, I like to give us a break. So I said, okay, in June, let's take a break. July, let's take a break. Although we were reading in the women's group, I Am a Woman, we were reading um, Tiffany Alicia's Get Good with Money. So I'm going to end the live now because I don't want to lose the stream. I think after an hour, you lose the stream. So I'm going to go. Blessings and love, y'all. When you see me live, when you see the announcement, join in. Shaquan Hoke, blessings and love to you. Blessings to everybody that joined. See you later. Bye for now. Love life well, y'all, and live. SGL signing off. See you later, Instagram. See you later, YouTube. Thank you for joining.